Okay, I am going to call the meeting to order today at 6:30. If everyone could stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I will do roll call. Donna McIntyre. Here. Amy Meyer. Here. Daniel Browning. Here. Norman Warner.
Here.
Bill Purcell.
Here.
Kenneth Sebastian. Chad Van Ryn.
Here.
Pam Rogers. Here. Okay, and then I am going to move the agenda around a little and do a reorganization of the board before we do approval of minutes. So I will leave that to you guys.
I'm going to start off tonight's meeting. We need to elect a president for the planning board. I'm vice president, and I think Bill would be perfect to be the president. I'll nominate him.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
We need to ask for it. We need to ask for it.
Is there any proposed?
Opposed.
I think you got a 7-0 vote. You're the new president. I think that means you get to take over. And that's your script you'll need later. The backside is highlighted.
All right. You did receive, should have received a copy of the minutes.
Mr. Michelle? I'm unfamiliar with the correct protocol to amend the agenda since we've changed the order a little bit. May I propose an amendment change missing?
What's missing?
One would be the report from the representative from our planning commission that attended the meeting. We're supposed to report at this meeting.
What meeting?
The economic development meeting that they had at McCormick's Creek Board Initiative that we had representatives from the planning commission. I sent around an email and they said that we would
That was
have
done after the last meeting.
So what?
That, you sent that email out after the last meeting. You sent it out, I think it was last week.
Right, last week they put it on, they put it on the agenda.
Well, tonight's agenda is basically to get what we need to get done,
Okay, so that's.
and that's what we're here for.
All right.
Hey,
we're
Kenny.
back to the minutes.
Come on up.
Welcome, Kenny.
Thank you. Get that printed.
Are there any
Not
additions
all.
or corrections to the minutes that we have?
Yes, sir?
Yes, so there was corrections that were requested to be made. So the January 21st were corrected to add in the actual vote because the original minutes didn't have the votes listed, and it was requested that I provide a typed copy instead of the handwritten one that was previously there.
Okay.
Are we taking them separate or together, Bill?
I don't know. Is that the only,
I have an additional
on which one?
on January 21st.
Okay.
There's no roll call of members. Normally, you do identify who was in attendance, and this doesn't appear. There's also no reference in January 21st to the remonstrance that was filed during the public hearing, and that was supposed to have a copy attached to the minutes for the discussion from the last meeting Ann from the.
Yes,
So,
and that wasn't available. It wasn't available in my office, so it's not there. But and the roll call, it's not listed on there that roll call was performed, but obviously it was, so.
can you clarify that it's not available, it's a file demonstrance for January 21st?
Yes, I clarify that I did not find it in my office, so it wasn't available for me to attach to the minutes.
Probably would be wise to put it in. Are there any other? Amendments?
I do for May 20th.
Okay, let's go to January 21st. I'll wait first. All those in favor of approving January 21st as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. May 20th. Any additions or corrections?
Yes. Roll call again not provided. As we go through, under the discussion of the UDO, there's no reference to when a motion was made or who made the motion or who seconded the motion. It does show a vote and one abstain, but the information regarding the motion is missing.
Are you talking about May 20th?
Yes.
That's on YouTube. All that stuff is on YouTube.
Yes, ma'am, but it's not in the minutes. YouTube's not minutes.
I made the motion. I think I want to say.
I think I seconded it.
Yeah.
And that's subsequently been pulled back in
Right.
to be run through again through the planning commission.
So we gotta have a wall
Then,
Yep.
on number 6, I assume Pam is me, but everywhere else you put a person's name. That may just be a typo. I don't know if it needs to be corrected or not. Number 7, subdivision request.
Oh, let's back up to 6. What do you?
Well, it says motion was made by Pam. I will assume that that is me. I'm just asking for clarification. Does that need to be amended? Because every place else is Bill Purcell or Norman Warner.
Should have her last name.
Yeah, I don't know if it's needed or not, but I just noticed it.
Okay.
No tally of vote on motions on 6. Don't know if that's required, but it's missing.
Well, it wasn't seconded. So did we take a vote? Table the appointment. So there was never a vote taken.
I
because-
think there was a vote taken, just
Wait.
doesn't show.
Well, we can't because he tabled it.
It's not listed on it.
It was tabled, there wasn't a vote on that.
Bill,
I don't think we voted because it was
Actually,
tabled.
the table, there should be a vote, and I think there was.
Oh, a vote for the table, okay.
yeah, I think
Gotcha.
there was, but I think it just doesn't show.
Right, okay.
It says motion second, but it doesn't have
Yeah.
the vote count.
And I'm just,
And I don't
Got
think,
me on it.
I think it was, Farmer anyway, it was unanimous.
Yeah, there was all the names I watched.
Okay, so what do you got on 7?
7, when it says a subdivision request, that should be amended to, is it a major subdivision application, is it a replat, a subdivision request? Because there's no reference to a petition number or the petitioner's name, or if you go back 6 months from now trying to find this particular minutes for this particular petitioner, these minutes do not reference those necessary numbers, like a petition number, name, replat. It just says subdivision request. And I do believe that this was a public hearing, but I do not see anywhere in the minutes that this was a public hearing. And I think that that is something that you're supposed to enter into the minutes that, to show that you we're compliant with the rules and regulations on that. Again, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but those are things I saw exist. And under public comment, it says a member of the public commented, but there's no reference to who that was.
Committee.
A member of the public commended the commission. Again, I was trying to see anything that might allude to a hearing.
I see what you're saying on number 7, you know, if we were looking back later, a parcel number would give us a reference, looking back through, I see what you're saying.
And a significant part of minutes were missing that included the discussion of membership qualification, which I hope is why our council is here tonight, where we can ask those questions too. But that information is not included in the minutes, and we had quite a few questions as to eligibility before we
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
we're going to tell exactly what tonight's meeting is about. We're here to represent this family on the plots. That's why the meeting was done on November 2nd.
It's not just what was missing in the minutes.
Well, we're not going to spend an hour having him and his wife sit there to go over stuff that can be discussed later. There's no reason to do it right now. It can be tabled until we get their stuff finished.
I'll make a motion that we table both sets of minutes until we get a minute, or have we already passed the one? So table the May the 20th minutes until we get them corrected, per what was said here.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
All right. Next item on the agenda is BZA board appointment. Norm sat on that position, sat on the BZA. We need a representative to sit on that.
May I ask a question? For the appointment?
Sure.
One of the questions asked in the prior meeting was for council to review, to confirm if our members qualified for certain positions, if there were any people on our membership now that are lacking their certificate of appointment authority. Those were in the extension office. And I believe it was stated that there was going to be a letter coming in from the extension board that reappointed you, sir. And that wasn't brought up at the last meeting. So before we do a BZA appointment motion, I would just like to know who is eligible for that.
You're appointed at their annual meeting in November, which
Yeah, I think that's where they had the meeting.
one-year term, and it was November.
Yeah, they sent me a letter from Purdue to confirm it if I can find it on my,
As long as we have it, that was one thing, because they have to reappoint every year. And I'm great with that, as long as our paperwork's in order. And then I think, Bill, you got clarification on my question regarding your appointment to the Property Tax Appeal Board, if that was in,
According to you and the attorney, I cannot serve. I have served there even when I was a surveyor as a technical person as far as appraisal work. Had no money, no nothing, just an advisory, someone who understands appraisals and that sort of thing. Just wanted to make it. So, I'm on it, but not,
so you're not allowed to be on, you're,
because it does pay $40 a meeting.
right, so it's my understanding, so that when you accepted that appointment, that by our statutes, you had to forfeit your position on the planning commission, and that was something that.
Well, that appointment, we have not had a meeting
Oh, I
in
know,
3 years.
I know, they submitted your name to the state, which is why I'm asking, because technically, from what was provided to me, is for you to accept that appointment, because you took your oath, to do that, you automatically forfeit your position on the planning commission. And And that's why I was asking to get a clarification on that before we got
Got
it this far.
clarification and told Betsy that I would not serve.
So then you need to be reappointed to the planning commission because you forfeited your position?
I nominated him.
You can't,
Commissioners appointed.
commissioners has to be a commissioner appointment.
You should be on it.
I'm just, my only point on that is to make sure that we have our i's dotted and t's crossed, so this doesn't keep coming back to haunt us. And whatever is appropriate, but it's my understanding that Bill has not got an appointment to the planning commission, and he did have to forfeit that, by the way the statute read, when he took the oath for the property tax appeal board.
Never did. No, ma'am. I have never in 8 years taken an oath to serve on the Peterborough Board. Did not take the oath. All it was said was, would you serve? And I told Dusty I would. End of conversation. If something went to the state, it's unknown to me. Let's get back to the business. We got a BZA person we need, from this body, we need to appoint to the BZA. And I believe it does have to be a citizen, correct? So,
Is there a political affiliation requirement?
Either one is fine.
Either one?
either
Any party.
The former member was libertarian, so there was no political affiliation from that member.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend Chad and for the BCA.
I'll second that.
You would accept it, Ted?
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations for a BZA appointment?
I move that the nominations be closed.
The properly moved and seconded, we close nominations because we are closing nominations and therefore by acclamation electing him require a 2/3 vote. Pass. All those in favor, please say aye. Raise your right hand. All opposed? What, it's a Thursday night, was it third Thursday?
No, that one's been moved to a Wednesday night because of the commissioner meetings. They could probably go back to Thursday now because it's because of
BZA is actually second Thursday now.
That
They made
is-
that decision at their last meeting,
Yeah,
second
because
Thursdays
it
at
was
7.
conflict with me.
Thank you, Chad, for serving.
Joe, no problem.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you guys for voting for me.
Old business.
Old business. Fall Creek Plat and Block 4 in Mason Park subdivision, we have a final plan. Have a final
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd ask if we could move discussion on requirements for plat approval B to the 4A. Those questions I have that are applicable to the Fall Creek plat.
What are your questions?
Questions regarding, is this replat required to have 2 applications? So I did go through Heather to try and find what portion of our ordinance provides the details for a replat. And I was unable to find any, and I believe Heather confirmed that there's not specific language that addresses a replat. This is a major subdivision application, and my first question is, in this scenario, are there 2 applications that are required to be filed?
So I can answer that. I waived that personally administratively because I didn't feel it was fair to this citizen who has had to jump through hoops and is doing a very minute land split for his family members and not a giant subdivision such as others that we've seen here in the past. So I felt it made more sense for what this citizen member has been through to waive an extra $500 fee and whole new application process. I think it would be unfair to him as a citizen.
Do you have that summarized in a staff report?
No, but if you'd
Okay.
like one, I can summarize it for you.
Okay. Second, on a replat, since this is At our previous meeting, we did a preliminary plat, and it's my understanding that we're supposed to have like a signed certification from the last meeting that also has written on that those conditions or terms. And I didn't see that in the handout tonight. There was that document.
So I talked to you about it earlier. I told you I do have the document you're talking about. It is not signed, but I have it here in front of me.
That's all the questions I have in general. I'll delay the rest of my questions until after we hear the plan.
And of course, the bulk replat law formation part subdivision right apply. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, sir. And this is to the petitioner as well. In reviewing the surveyor's information that's been certified on this, there are some significant errors that I wanted to make sure I went on record that the planning commission has found on the survey. Number 158 and 157 on your survey, these corner points on your survey indicate that this is the absolutely wrong, they're referring to the north side of the plat instead of the south side. So 158, which is the bottom left-hand corner, which would be the southwest corner, 158 is saying that this is the northwest corner of lot 4 from survey 1. So that's a significant technical error. 157 states that this is the southwest corner of lot 4 and it's the southeast corner of lot 4. So these two things, whatever the procedure is here before we approve this, these indicate that this survey does not match the original subdivision. Second point is when we suggested that the language of the easement be included in this plat, the original plat was not changed because under the paragraph right above the added portion on the easement, it states that evidence of the easement has not been located in the field and are not shown on this survey drawing. That's written on your plat. Then 4 sentences later, it shows that there is an easement.
Okay, stop, please. Okay, you've already got somebody upset, just stop.
I have a question.
Turn your mic on.
Ms. Rogers, what is, where's your qualifications to tell us what is incorrect on a survey? You are not a licensed surveyor. You do not, what do you know about survey, ma'am?
Would you like me to answer?
No, I don't. I don't want your answer. I don't need your answer. Heather, has Mr. Falk met all of the requirements for this plat that he was asked to do?
Yes.
Then I vote that I make a motion that we vote on this plat.
I'll second that.
I
I
I don't know what we're doing here, really. This is a final.
Things have gotten out of hand and they need to stop.
I still have.
I'm-
You can bring up your
no.
concerns at a later date.
Yeah, this has not got anything to do with what we're trying to do for this gentleman tonight.
No, absolutely it does.
No.
I'm sorry, there's a motion on the table. There should be no further discussion. A vote needs to take place.
Hey, stop, right now.
I'm sorry, but.
No, you're not running this meeting, period. He's gonna get his plot thing done tonight, and you're gonna stop interrupting. End of discussion. Go ahead, Amy.
I've made the motion that we vote on Mr. Falk's plat and let him leave.
And I second that motion.
Objection? I'm asking if the
There's a
surveyor.
motion and a second, Pam.
I am formally going on record to object to the surveyor not recusing herself in this scenario, and she's not eligible to make the motion for that reason.
issues.
I want that stricken.
I will go on record and state that I don't have to recuse myself from this. If my husband did the survey, he was paid for it, and it has nothing to do with this or the plan commission. So if you want to keep, Ms. Rogers, do your research, please.
Counselor? Are we-
There's an motion and a second. I think you called for a vote.
All those in favor of approving, hold on, I think I got this script I've got to read, which requirements are met, so please, bear with me. Final plat must include the following: boundary lines by meets and bounds to provide survey of the tract, existing or recording streets that intersect the boundaries of the tract, distances and directions to the nearest established street corners or monuments, street names, complete. Pam, I want to ask you very nicely to be quiet, and the next time I'm having a deputy come up.
Thank you.
Street names, complete curve noted for all curves, location types, materials, and size of monuments and lot markers, plans and specification for improvements required by the ordinance. Have all those been met?
Yes, I will add that there does need to be some conversation or motion made in regards to, on a final plat, there is a requirement for a bond or certificate of improvements, and that is not here. That being said, the reason that that was not brought is because, again, the scale of what he is doing in comparison to when that would actually be required for a final plat for a larger subdivision.
Well, after we deal with this motion, then we'll deal with that, in my opinion.
Thank you.
So you have a motion, it's met those needs other than the bond, which we'll deal with here in a moment. That wasn't in this script. But all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
6-1. Motion carries. Now, Norm, you want to address?
7-1. 7-1.
7-1, I'm sorry. So you come in,
Well, so two things. I think before we do the final plat, we got to get those corners corrected. That should be, because we got to see a Mylar anyway, right?
There is a Mylar.
There is a
And
Mylar.
I'm
Do you
not
know
su-
if-
I'm
I
not
guess
sure,
it is a Mylar.
I'm not sure what she's talking about
These-
is factual.
Well, I mean, the corners are marked, both of them are marked southwest. That's, one of them needs to be north and west. I don't, that's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something that needs to be noted somewhere.
The verbiage is southwest, but the coordinates are correct?
I would assume so, they look right. The writing on the Mylar is southwest. It may say northwest in the narrative, I don't know. I don't. But anyway, as far as the bond, I make a motion that we waive the need for the bond in this particular plat because it's a minor subdivision of a major subdivision. And that I see no reason to put up a bond for a subdivided lot where you're going to put 3 of your family members.
I'll second that.
and properly moved and seconded that we waive the bond for this. No discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say, raise your right hand. Any counts? All opposed?
I abstain.
7 with 1 abstention. Motion carries. That's my agenda.
Mhm.
I lost my agenda on this here. Are we done on discussion of requirements plan approval?
Just for my own sake, I have a quick question. So as this is his final plat and you guys want that language adjusted, is that just before he brings it to the commissioners? Because you guys have already voted on approval, correct?
Right, for its commissioners, we just need to have that language say northwest instead of southwest on that corner.
There's 2.
And then,
157 and 158 supposed to.
so look at 157, 158 corners.
And they have a meeting Thursday,
Is-
so they should give it.
Is that on the Mylar? Because I've already provided the Mylar.
it's here, and it's, the Mylar is not showing, languages off.
So this is not what's on the Mylar?
That is what I have.
So which one is it? Right on the Mylar?
It is not, it is here is what I have.
It's like this, okay. I don't know what to do with that, because I don't want to hold him up either.
We don't have 75-foot setback. So it'd be 75 feet from the driveway.
Technically, not initial and dated. And you're not changing initial and dated, so that can move forward.
You can't initially.
I would,
We
You
could do that on the copy that he receives and the copy we keep as long as they match, I
okay.
think.
You'll probably be
Can-
safe doing
I
that.
think that's right.
Can you
Yeah,
do that on a
you'll be safe
Mylar
doing
though?
that.
What's it?
Can you do that on a Mylar, because the Mylar's already been
They
provided?
make a pen that writes on this stuff.
What, I'm
They
sorry?
make a pen that writes on it,
Oh,
because
they
we
do,
have to
okay.
sign them, yeah. So I'd say noted on the copy he's going to receive, the copy we keep in a permanent file, and that solves that problem.
Sounds good.
I don't know if that needs to be a motion or not.
Did we waive setback?
You could go ahead and to make it cleaner, go ahead
Okay.
and make the motion.
All right, here's my motion. I make a motion that we edit with initials of the administrator on the 2 points of contention, 158, 157 corners, so that they're properly noted as being southeast and southwest.
Discussion on that, sir?
We need a second first.
We need a second
He's
first.
not finished asking his motion. You're interrupting him.
So we note that on his copy and the copy we keep in permanent files. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Now we're open for discussion.
Sir, I don't believe that's legally allowed to do because this is certified by a surveyor, and this information entered regarding the reference monuments, by state law, his certification, we can't change his survey for those markers, and he has to be the person that changes that and then recertifies this.
It'll be changed.
Our attorney's already okayed it.
It'll be done.
The attorney's already said what would need to be done, and that's what we
I
made
asked the
motions
attorney
on.
before I ever went down that road.
This is a question to council. Sir, if the surveyor has certified this and under the laws that he has to follow for a survey, this is not a typo that we made. This is an error made in the surveyor's department.
I just said the surveyor would change it. I just made that statement.
It'll be fixed.
It will be fixed. Maybe move on to
So
Mr.
then
Warner's
do we drop the
motion.
I second
No,
it.
we have to fix it.
Yeah, we
But
just
don't
have to,
fix it.
No, no, the survey can fix it. We're just gonna make a note of it so that it gets fixed. That's what the
That's
motion
under-
is.
that's understood.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed? Pam, did you vote?
Yes, I did, sir.
And the affirmative. 8-0. All right. Staff reports.
Just a question, please. So honestly, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do next. Because I believe what I heard is the surveyor is going to make the correction, which means it also, we need to have new Mylars created before the next meeting agenda, which is Thursday, for the next level to vote on it.
yeah, the
Correct me
commission
if I'm
meetings.
wrong, but if we noted on the copies that the commissioners see,
Yeah, it
If
should be good
he
enough.
initials and corrects by hand as the surveyor, then that would be,
so
right.
David will correct.
They'll correct it and handle it, so I don't need to do anything else except
Get the corrected copy from
get the corrected copy by Wednesday and bring it in here. You'll get it, and can you bring it in here? Okay,
him. She knows the survey.
okay. Okay, so all I have to do now is show up for Thursday.
As long as I can get an official approval, and I will let you know tomorrow,
Okay,
if not tonight.
okay,
On an official approval to get you added to that agenda last night.
gotcha.
what I need them to approve. Once we leave here, I need to
Then you
let
can
them
get
know
the
we got
approval
what
for the
you
next
need.
one.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course, so.
Thank you for being patient.
Thank you. And we're sorry for all that. Staff report.
So I don't have anything official. I added this so I could make sure I remembered to let you guys know. I don't have a planning commission meeting for July since we are so close to July today. So I wanted you to know, we won't have anything for July. I do intend to probably have something for you come August. Unless there's something that somebody can think of that needs to come out in July, let me know. I'll adjust.
Public comment.
I'm going to make
I
a
have
comment
public
about,
comment.
I wanted to make a comment first.
Public comment. If
Okay.
there's anybody out there that has a comment.
I have a comment for Warner. I'd like to comment that discussion out here can be kept to a minimum because it wastes people's time and you're doing on vacation. So that's my comment.
No one's taking time, but our counselor is on the clock. So every minute he's here, it costs the county. Okay, planning commission comments.
I just wanted to address an issue that we're having on the board. Pam had sent me an email telling me that Norm messed up the HIPAA law when I told him that I was in the hospital. I told him to ask the members if they wanted me to step down, I would, but I would prefer to stay on the board because I like working in my community as a volunteer. The emails that you sent me was very unprofessional, uncalled for, and was offensive. And as a woman, you don't send me emails and you don't talk to me like that again.
Can you respond?
If it's going to be in a hateful manner,
No,
no.
ma'am, not at all.
Okay.
I'd ask you to relook at your email, and the email was actually sent as a courtesy to you.
No. No,
I'm
no.
not being urgent, but I do have a copy of the email, and it was as a courtesy to you, so you could have them go in and edit a portion of a public video.
No.
If you did not want that information shared.
I had called Norm myself and told Norm to let the community know what was going on with me. And if he was so worried about the HIPAA law, you could have went to my Facebook page and seen my live video when I was looking at colon cancer.
Oh,
So, yeah, no, everybody was aware of what was going on with me. I think you're overextending yourself towards harming this board as far as being able to function for our community to give them the best stuff that we can give them.
so.
The last meeting that you was in, you spent almost an hour interrupting everybody, sitting right over there. This poor man and his wife, they couldn't get a word in edgewise because of you. That's not what our board is about, and I'm done.
Respectfully, thank you. Our whole meeting was only about an hour, but I did, we don't need to elaborate on that, but I will stand behind that. For my comments that I have, this is for our council. Sir, one of the questions that have come up that I proposed is we have a, what's called a script for matter of major subdivisions. This script was generated by James Bryan, prior council, and Heather indicated that this was given to her by the planning commission. I just would like for the county to be aware that previously this was turned over to the county. This refers to a Title 12. We do not have Title 12. And when our ordinances were codified, we function under Title 15. So our planning and zoning, according to our land usage and the codified ordinances, is Title 15, but everything that's written on the script is referring to Title 12. And that needs to be corrected in our script to where we have correct references on that. Additionally, the language was changed on our script to use statutory reference that does not appear in the ordinance. So we talk about a primary approval and a secondary approval, but neither primary or secondary is addressed at all in our ordinances. And so this script that was put out actually provides partially incorrect information, and it's caused part of the problems and the impetus behind the questions that I have asked. Next question is I would like to ask, Heather kindly put out a list of each person's party affiliation, and Mr. Monroe is indicated as being a Republican, but he ran on the Libertarian Party ticket for the last 2 years. So since we have to track our party affiliation, you're showing him as a Republican?
Yes, because the election board has him listed as being a Republican in the last voting.
I voted in the primaries in 2020, and
Yes.
I said I
Yeah.
ran for office in 22 and 24, and
Yeah.
I'm the,
Yeah, whatever you ran in the last primary is what they count.
right,
Yes.
I'm the treasurer of the Libertarian Party. There's no way to declare as a Libertarian because we
Right.
don't have primaries. We don't participate in primaries, so.
Yeah.
So
I've
how,
been to our state convention and our county convention. You can't even technically, actually, it's illegal to vote in a primary if you go to a Libertarian convention because it's considered voting twice in a primary.
when you say that it's by their last primary, I would challenge that respectfully, because if a person can have their party, a letter by their party chair that supersedes a primary, and since you're showing a 2020 primary, and we had a 2024, I'm just saying as we're looking at our party affiliations and making sure that we have the right demographics represented, that those things need to be addressed in.
Right. No, I understand. I pulled my information directly from the election office here in the courthouse, so.
But Chad, you didn't vote in primary in 22 or 24, is that correct? Because you.
I didn't hear the first part of your question.
I mean, you didn't vote in the primary
No.
in 22 or 24 because you had determined you were libertarian.
Right, I went to our convention, our state convention.
You
our-
had no choice but to go back to the last time you voted.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the last time I voted in the primary was 2020, that's the last thing she's got the reference.
I do have something. The question was brought up whether we, as a board, recognized the administrator as being the building department administrator. I'd like to make a motion that tonight we vote that Heather is the administrator over the planning commission as well as administrator over the building department, so that we clarify that situation.
She's highly qualified. I'll just second that motion.
Discussion?
Motion been made in a second. Now the floor is open for discussion.
Thank you, sir. Since we've already closed the elections, and this does not appear on the agenda for new or old business, and we weren't supposed to be amending that, I'd just like to get some clarification. Heather, I think you have been thrown into water, and you're doing the best job you can, and your work is appreciated. Can you please, when you say appointed as administrator, can we make that motion to where she's been appointed as the secretary? Because we're allowed to appoint a secretary, and that can be voted on. And that
I'll take
would
a
be-
friendly amendment that
Yeah.
you're the secretary of the planning commission.
That would be appropriate.
I call for a vote.
Any other discussion?
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor of Heather being the administrator and the secretary of the planning board?
This secretary.
The secretary. Please raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Council, you got anything to us?
I have one other comment. Wasn't done.
Okay.
I'd like to ask for any of the citizen members of, are there any citizen members here who did not reach out to our council or to the plan commission administrator and inform them that they would not serve on this board if I remained?
I'm going to jump in on that.
No, that's not
There
appropriate.
is an issue currently pending regarding removal of this Rogers. That is a pending matter that is currently under review. And I don't believe it is appropriate to put any members of the commission here on the spot to discuss that issue.
Thank you, sir. If a person wants to volunteer that information?
A person can choose to volunteer anything they'd like, but no one is going to be put on the spot to answer questions about that pending matter.
Any other comments from planning commission?
No.
Seeing none, is there a
Motion
motion
to
to
adjourn.
adjourn? Is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye and amen.
All those opposed, you want to stay here all night? Same sign.
Hope you get your stuff in.
I hope so too.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Counselor, and everybody for what you do.
Welcome.
No, I know you did the first one.
Our county appreciates it.